street to whisper, I can't breathe. And you sit there in the house on couch and watch it on TV. The most you get with Twitter rant, call it a tragedy. But truly the travesty, you've been robbing your empathy. Replaced it with apathy, I wish I could magically. Fast forward the future so that you can face it and see how fucked up it'll be. I promise I'm honest, they coming for you the day after they coming for me. I'll be the Chomsky, I'll be the Kowski, I'm laying low for a week. I said something over half of my people and I popped up in we can eat. They thought that I'm covered, the devil consulted and you know the evil don't sleep. Dick Gregory told me a couple of secrets before we lay down in the grave. All of us serve the same masters, all of us nothing but slaves. Never forgetting the story of Jesus, the hero was killed by mistake.
Shout out Killer Mike, that shit running jewels. Folks. Yes, back at it. Back at it with another quarantine edition of the Dawncore Dricanhippie Show. This is episode 101.
101.
I know we've been titling them quarantine edition, but I still been counting them, so we're gonna edit and just put Dawncore Dricanhippie Show episode such and such quarantine. I'm gonna just put the numbers down next to me. But this is episode 101. And we here to learn just something. 101, you know what I'm saying? It just so happens that it always comes like that, you know what I mean? But welcome back to the Dawncore and Dricanhippie Show. We are your hosts,
Dawncore
and Dricanhippie, back at it with another episode, another week. Some more protesting, which I'm loving to see, you know what I'm saying? But what's going on, Cole? How you
talk to
feeling?
the people since the protest.
We haven't spoke to them. We spoke to them
The day
after it really happened. We recorded that Tuesday.
The Tuesday after Memorial Day.
The 26th, the day after my mom's birthday, and the day after he passed away, the day after he got murdered.
Yeah.
So I felt like this episode would be us recapping everything, you know what I'm saying, to our audience, even though it's been news all over the world. So we just gonna recap to our audience. But how you been feeling about everything? How you been feeling? What's going on?
I've been feeling about everything. That's a broad question for what we've had to digest.
Let me narrow it. How you been feeling yourself personally so far about?
I'm doing good. My energy is still intact, and actually is doing a lot better before all of this happened, which is ironic. Because usually when
energy
something
was better before this happened?
No.
What you mean?
It got better after post. Because remember, if you check in on the last episode, I was upset because, you know, we had already been experiencing the police in our city through the social distancing, you know what I'm saying? And I kept saying, you know, stop recording, fight back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just get to it, man, because it's too much.
But that's why I feel we've been titling our episodes appropriately, because it's been what's been going on, and I think the last one was boiling point or something like that, and it was what was going on, just to the tipping point of that. You know what I mean? So we've been titling them on point just to gauge everything that's been happening. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting almost orange past red. You know what I'm saying? So that's really emergency. Like, we gonna get it. We gonna do a timeline. But like last night, they did the protest in Washington, and they ran to the White House. Like, bro.
So when you ask me that, it's like I'm loving it. You know, because when it happened, you know, it was in Minneapolis. You know what I'm saying? And I can honestly say, I did not expect it to be at the grand scale that it is.
Yeah.
Whether there's agitators to it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To cross this nation in, 18 countries?
18 countries, all 50 states.
I didn't see that happening. You know what I'm saying? So
Amish community popped out.
I can't say that nothing is happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling changes.
I don't know. In our lifetime, we've been seeing some stuff. The Rodney King shit was like early 90s, but we seen
the most prominent is Sean Bell.
Sean
I was
Bell.
19 years old, and I was ready to burn
You know
everything
what I'm
down.
saying?
And I remember the older people telling me to like relax. It ain't the way to do it. We gotta go about it a different way, and just calming my whole generation, my youth generation. Like, don't get out there like that. It's another way to go about it. This is pre video recordings and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't have that.
Video cell phones.
We ain't have that, and that's what I was trying to explain to someone, that now you have kids that have been experiencing this for over a decade. It's 9 through 15, 9 through 17.
Now they 19 through 25, 30, you know what I'm saying?
And they ready to go.
Yeah.
And they going, and I love it.
Especially like,
I love it. I love it.
It's something about like entertainment and music and stuff that it raises your child, you know what I'm saying? So if your child is, let's say, quote unquote white, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And you grew up listening to J. Cole for the last 10 years, you're not just gonna sit there and be like, this is cool what's happening out there. And I've been listening to J. Cole and seeing Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, Sandra Bland, etc. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the Kendrick Lamar fans, all the Big Sean fans, you know what I'm saying?
White supporters, not all of them bother me. The young ones doesn't bother me.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the actors.
It's the older ones that is like,
they here to fuck this movement up.
In the sense of like, I seen it. We're in Brooklyn. I'm downtown, bro. Yeah. When all that popped off, because I was saying I didn't expect it to happen everywhere. I expected protesting in New York. Yeah. Because that's what Black Lives Matter does. Yeah. I kind of feel. I don't know where.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, I don't know where it all started, but I know here, niggas, we ride. You know what I'm saying? For everybody.
You know, of course, like certain real South states go protest and all that.
So I was seeing that protest was gonna happen, but Friday, which was May 30th, last Friday. Today is Sunday the 7th.
Mm-hmm. It got crazy when they burnt down
the patio. I was out there.
Mm-hmm.
I was out there.
Well, before that, they burned down the precinct in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
so it's like,
that's what I meant to say. To see the protest, because we didn't speak on it. To see Minneapolis go up.
React how they did, because
you
could pick out multiple of these names that's been murdered, and it's in that state. You know what I'm saying? With that
Philando Castile.
Yeah.
And the officer got acquitted.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but even with that, they got video of the cop busting up the AutoZone. You know what I'm saying?
They got videos.
Is it he's doing it so to fuel the riots, so it's like, look what they doing now? Or is it that he feel that way?
He feel that way and he's with
We don't know. But I like to play
it's still a
both
mental
sides.
game
It's
too.
still a mental game. But
to
see that go up, see my son out there marching out to the officer's crib. I love my son. Shout out to my son.
Shout out to my son, General. You know what I'm saying?
He is somebody that really pushes me to get into this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cause
at least talk about it. If you can't, like, cause I was out there, like, I got to Union Square yesterday, and I caught tail end. They was going towards Washington Park.
Yeah.
So they was walking down. They was probably like on 9th. I was like on 10th, but it was already like close for me to go to work, so I was like, all right, let me just head to work. But I saw the tail end of that, you know what I'm saying? And then to see the photos of everything that was happening there. But like you said, for them to have hundreds of cops protecting this dude's house, you know what I'm saying? When they first popped off over there, and to see all the protesters standing there like, nah, like this some bullshit. This bullshit. This not gonna fly, not this time, you know what I'm saying? 2020.
People already fueled up from the Breonna Taylor story, which was gaining steam.
Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. Happy belated
birthday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, that's it. Ain't no chill. You know what I mean? So Friday night in New York was when it started. Scotty and Day 9. And to be honest, I feel like NYPD kind of pushed it to what it became.
Mm-hmm.
Because they was out there at the Barclays heavy. You know what I'm saying? Protesters, I mean.
And even
And
before that,
they were being calm, bro. The cops agitated them, and it went up.
And even
After
before
that,
that, even with this trying to enforce the coronavirus thing, they were smacking people and stuff like that. Like, come on,
they were still
it's
trying.
boiling.
They were still trying to do that in the first protest, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what made it go up. I was there. I seen it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what made it go up. And when they was like, all right, they caught the paddy wagons that was parked up because all the cops was out there on foot, and they burned one up. A few.
That's just
You know what I'm saying? That was day one, and I was out there when that shit burned, and I'm like, this is a little different.
Yeah, then day 2, day 3.
I was out there day 1.
borough.
Friday I was out there. Saturday I was out there. It wasn't the looting there. Looting started Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday, then that lasted into the week, you know what I'm saying? But that's something that has to happen as well.
I wasn't mad at that either.
You gotta mess with their money. Like, listen, we still in a pandemic, in a quarantine, it's a virus out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this a couple episodes ago. You got people that just went, 40 million people filed for unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
They've been without jobs for 3 months, probably waiting for that unemployment for 2.5 months. It's probably just kicking in. You sent us one stimulus check, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't got no food in their house. They don't got no money to pay their rent.
I respect that thought aspect, but I think a little deeper than that.
And also, you got the systematic shit too. You gotta fuck with their money.
Listen, man, first of all, we're not gonna act like these companies don't invest in the prison system. If you check into that, you're gonna see the same stores that you shop in invest into one of the biggest economic revenues or money.
Yeah,
revenues
that flows into the prison system.
They invest into the Trump.
Especially Bank of America, Chase. Or I got Chase, but you know what I'm saying?
They invest into the Trump organization and his campaign and running. Listen, I'm with all that.
Fuck shit up, burn it down.
Bloomingdale's running that shit. All that in the neighborhood, no. And I only seen that in New York, in the Bronx. And to me, with that, that's another problem, and that's on NYPD fault. If you know, they pulling police from precincts all over the city and putting them in certain areas.
And then the mix.
So you leaving Fordham empty for
anything to happen.
Anything to happen.
And then with the mixed messages where you got these fake protesters, actors that's going into the neighborhoods and influencing people to do shit like this too. You know what I'm saying? So in that note, you got people that I've seen videos, like you said, in the Bronx, Brooklyn, everywhere where there's people in neighborhoods that grew up there since they was 2 years old, born, you know what I'm saying? If we see people that we don't recognize, where you from? What block you
seen that shit happen? You seen that shit happen in Dykeman, and it almost boiled over into something else.
Yeah.
I'm with police in your neighborhoods. You know, I always refer. We did that with our shit.
Yeah,
we did that with our shit, but you have to. But you also have to be cautious about it. You can't just do what the police do and racially profile someone that's walking through your neighborhood because you've never seen them before, unless they're doing something suspicious or trying to break in something. Then that's different. But if they just walking through, especially like Dykeman, for example, these could have been coming from copping some weed. I mean, let's be honest.
Niggas ain't got nothing to do with none of this out here. I'm just
I
doing my
know
thing.
where the ball at.
You know
Like, don't act like they ain't got it. So I'm with all the police in your neighborhood because the other side does that.
Shit was getting crazy. Like, you saw the old lady in the wheelchair stabbing niggas and shit. Like, nah, you about to get rushed.
They
You
put
talk
milk
about,
on us, sprayed it with,
you know what I'm saying?
fire extinguisher.
Yeah, fuck out of here. I'm trying to just go through the timeline, you know what I'm saying? Cause
it got hot in Minnesota, and then
it's still hot over there.
everywhere just
Yeah, everywhere just said
go.
fuck it. Let's
I
go.
don't like how we try to spin the narrative, like all these now. That's what I was saying. Like it's like how you feel. I'm like this shit has shown me, like, before this, we was going through the pandemic. And it was like, I'm going to reach out to people more and, you know, value life. You know what I'm saying? Time and all that. You never know. Because we lost some people from this shit. You know, the coronavirus and all that. But this immediately has shown me that I'm not fucking with a lot of people, bro.
Me too.
Because you can't spin this narrative. You can't be like, I've seen, and it's not just white people, but I've seen Spanish, I've seen black people say, but all lives matter. Or what about black on black crime? What about, no.
That's not the issue right now.
That ain't, first of all, that ain't the issue, but that black on black crime, you already feeding into that system of shit. Like, there's no such thing as black on black crime.
Yeah, you don't look into statistics, you just can't talk about it. If you live in a proximity of black people and you decide to do crime, you're gonna do crime against black people.
That's every.
And if you're a white boy and you're in the proximity of white people and you decide to go shoot up a school, you're gonna shoot up a school filled with white people. If you're a Chinese mobster and you live in the proximity of Chinese people and you selling drugs and chopping people's heads off in the Chinese neighborhood, that's just what it is. You in the proximity of it is where you live. So okay, so let's get to this statistics. White people outnumber black people by 6 times still in this country. You know what I'm saying? But the death total for white people over black people is only 2 times more. That doesn't even equate. It doesn't make sense. Or in the prison system, it's 5 times more that black people are in jail than a white person. You know what I'm saying? So if we talking about
for the same crimes that another white offender
did to another white person, you know what I'm saying? So we're not talking about that. It's like I seen so many memes like, yo, this house is on fire. I'm gonna go help them, and the neighbor is like, but what about my house?
My house.
Is it on fire? Nah, not right now.
My shingles is.
But my house matters too, bro. But that's not the point. That house is on fire right now. There are black people being murdered on TV, on cell phones, and it's like the cops are saying that the white people are saying, but what is wrong about it? That doesn't equate. It does not make sense.
They say, but all lives matter. All lives can't matter.
If
black
lives don't matter, how does that not equate in your brain? How does 2 + 2 not equal 4?
And it's not saying like.
Because if in the first 2 you got all white people in the first 2, and in the second 2 you got a mix of white people and a mix of every other race, right? And that equals 4. If you killing off the mixed races in the second 2, it's gonna be like a half a 2, and that's not gonna equal 4. Do y'all get math? Do you understand it? Like, I don't get what y'all don't get.
You're killing unarmed. Like, we just had African American, a black man killed in Kingsborough after shooting someone. They murdered him.
Yeah. It's not really an uproar about it on some.
Because of what
he was doing dirt, like, you know what I mean?
Trying to, if not kill someone intentionally.
He was still using this time to fuel his internal beef. I don't know if that's the case.
He was out there doing something and got caught for. He
shot somebody and they shot him because he still had a gun in his hand trying to get away, I guess. You know what I mean? But petty beefs that we have with each other does not. This ain't the time.
We're seeing unarmed black people.
When you see it
repeatedly for no reason.
And still during the riots, you see people.
And not only that, are you seeing that the officers are getting off? That has to tell you that the system doesn't see anything wrong with it. Now, if these officers have killed a white person, please believe that we're going to jail. Now, we don't see that. We don't see that. We don't even see video of them killing Spanish people. I asked him to show me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you got some Spanish people that's They're passing as white, like,
especially in these other states.
yeah.
So it's like, and then it's crazy because it's like we don't even, like, for real, as a whole, black people are caring people, bro. We don't even think like that. Everything, like when people, oh, they're looting the animals, then suck my dick. Suck my dick. Everything that black or African American, whatever you want to fucking call us, do is learned behavior.
Yeah.
We learned this. This is something that was done to us.
We didn't take over Oklahoma, Tulsa violently. We built that up into the blackest, richest community in the history of America, and
The government bombed
the government literally dropped bombs from airplanes onto that community and destroyed it. So
What is it?
that's
What is it? And
that's
then
70 years ago. Let's go to Christopher Columbus. Oh, I never seen these color-faced people. Let's just give them smallpox and take over their land. Like, it's all learned behavior, as he said. Like, we watch something and we repeat it. Like, you lucky, like some people say, you lucky we just asking to be equal right now and not saying like, yo, we gonna dethrone everything. Y'all gonna be all slaves now and all that.
We're not even looking for revenge.
That's crazy, bro. Like, I don't get it. Shit is ridiculous.
The animals.
So then after all this started kicking off, of
all
course
we
they
want
went
is for you to leave us the fuck alone. Please love everything about us but our existence. And if we don't exist, then do you understand what this world would be like?
But the color, like I don't know. I see, like, when I walk into, like, let's say we do security, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we walk into, like, to get our fire card, it's mad races in there, mad different people in there. It's not like I'd be like, oh, the white officer told me to come over here to the black lady. I don't say that. I'd be like, yo, the officer that at the front of the line gave me this ticket and he told me to come over here to see the female.
We don't see color, bro.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
we don't see color, bro.
That shit should not. It's just mind blowing the world we live in. This shit is a bizarro land. Like, and we've been dealing with it for like 30 years. Like, we was having this discussion. You know, imagine people that's just like 10 years older than us or 20 years older than us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was born in the 80s. That's 20, 30 years after Selma, civil rights and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Black Panther Party.
Barely 100 years before. I mean, after slavery.
J. Hope was still alive, right? When we were born.
Yeah, we seen plenty of stuff with him. You know what I'm saying? We knew his name.
So his influence is still.
So it's like, this shit is still like you go talk to somebody that studies the universe and shit, and he'll blow your mind by saying, yo, we've been on this earth so many billion years, and that's this much length in a ruler. And you'll be like, whoa, that's a small amount of time. And then a black person will tell you, boy, we 100 years from slavery. And they'll be like, get over it. That's mad long.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. We can't dump that. Like a couple
You
years,
sound crazy.
A couple years ago, they was trying to spin that narrative, like get over slavery. It happened such and such years ago. I'm like, you can't tell me that. You can't tell me that. If
I used to go to my grandmother that when she died, she was 100 or 99 years old, and she told me how things were when she was 10 years old, I can't feel what you're saying.
I could feel the pain on her face.
Yeah, like, her blood is inside of me. Because her blood is inside of my mother's, and I came out of my mother. So when she tells me a story about something, why I'm this color shade, and I'm talking for him right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can feel that. So when I pass somebody that I can feel his animosity towards my skin tone, how am I supposed to react? And I always felt that I could understand that, cause I could walk in those shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go in there and somebody say my first name and be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. So I was walking with this shirt to work the other day, and 3-4 people, mad people, you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta do it right now. Like we at the point where you gotta choose a side, and that's that.
Especially when people don't know. Like I know, you know what I'm saying? I know, like people, you're Mexican. No, he's not Spanish. That nigga black.
I don't know.
He black.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
people don't know that, so they need to know where people stand now. And a lot of people are getting canceled. A lot of people getting canceled because this ain't the time to play, bro.
This ain't the
This
time.
ain't the time to play. A lot of people getting fired. Regular people getting fired. A lot of shit they put on social media. Nah, we not tolerating this shit no more.
Yeah.
And that's word to my mother. Like I've always been on that time. If I even feel some type of prejudice coming off you and I'm not at work, I'm gonna punch you all in your face. I've done it numerous times since gentrification has started, but 11 years. Yeah, a few of them got put, man, because I don't give a fuck about an assault charge.
Word. Especially
on
somebody
you.
that has a PhD.
Fucking
Play hating degree. You hating,
yeah, you in my shit. You on the
You
JJ,
hating,
you on
cuz.
down Ralph Ave, you don't know where you at.
Yo, shout out to everybody that's like in the entertainment world and people with their theories about Illuminati and all this other shit. I don't care, and they holding it down for us. Shout out to all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shout out
listen.
to everybody.
I was on Gates Friday. I'm telling you, man. They marched through Gates. They marched through Gates. It was like
They went down Ralph. They went down Fulton.
About 15 minutes.
Deep.
I had to be about 12,000 people, bro. That was just in the hood. And they already was downtown and crossing the bridge. That's what I wanted to say. That's how I know it's other entities in play because all these people are not from here.
Yeah, man. And then that's why we got to get into that happened, all the protesting and everything.
But do you think that's happening nationwide if that's the case, or do you think it's more like in big cities they're trying to put money into, like, because this is happening?
I think it'll be where they hear or they see anything that's happening.
So do you think they're paying just the protesters or some officers as well? Think some officers gonna pay well?
Yeah.
Because I done seen videos of like people tagging them shit and
I done seen videos with officers
doing damage
with their personal cars with bricks in their trucks
Yeah,
and placing
taking
it
shit
in
out.
odd places. You
I
know what I'm
seen
saying?
them damaging their vehicles. I seen them tagging shit up.
So that's why I wanted to get into so the protesting happens, the looting happens. Now they implement a curfew everywhere. You gotta do a curfew. If you don't,
the niggas is outside anyway.
the niggas is outside anyways. But that's for the point that we making right now. For them to plant shit like there's no construction site here. You putting bricks right there.
Yeah.
So you can have now you did that. Now you did your part, right? Now you get the white dude that they caught on camera. Paying the young black kid, like, yo, them picnic tables over there.
Yeah.
All them bricks over there, you know what I'm saying?
Like
you see a few videos like that. And some other videos where white girls is tagging BLM on buildings and stuff, on Starbucks and stuff. And then the black girls is like, the women is like, yo, like, you can't do that because then they're going to blame us. If we not asking y'all to do that, if we asking y'all to walk with us, walk with us. If we y'all doing that, why y'all doing that? It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when we was talking about the looting in the beginning,
Sunday,
you know what I mean? Like
Soho.
It's a mind game. You know what I'm saying? Now is where we at with this. Now
it was even strategic how they was doing it. Like if anybody knows the city, see they was protesting in the city, and then they will walk across the bridge.
Yeah.
They go to Barclays.
The first night they shut the bridge down.
Yeah.
The cops shut the bridge down from Brooklyn side of Manhattan.
What do you mean shut the curfew?
Like when they was protesting, the cops.
The first day. The first day. Yeah, because it's too many.
Yeah.
It's too many. They did that the curfew too. But I'm talking about how the looting, how that shit worked. As they marching down, they going across the bridge, you know the cops gonna follow the crowd. The crowd was historic. It's historic. This crowd is historic. There's thousands of motherfuckers in these crowds. I'm tens of thousands of people. I'm not talking
50,
about
60,000.
Yes, it's heavy.
Shout out to Mel, my homegirl Mel. She was out there.
It's heavy out there, man. If you just looking at videos, you ain't getting it. You gotta get out there. You gotta see it. Just watch them pass or jump. It's heavy. So as they going, you just got burned off. So, rip.
Gonna get some watches.
They going to cops going across the bridge with the crowd thinking everybody that left. No.
Listen.
Everything goes season. Any cops that was left around was getting put.
Cops was getting beat up. Molotov cocktails thrown at them. Like, listen.
Shorty tried to fry forward.
Keep the energy. Keep it positive out there. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta keep this energy flowing until it hits bills that pass laws. You know what I'm saying? So while all this is going on, protesting still happening.
I was so proud to hit the 18.
What we like 9, 10 days in now?
This is the ninth day.
9th day. So the 8th day yesterday, they finally did Washington.
They rushed the White House.
They did the big protest. They had the Black Lives Matter leading towards the White House. They had the barricades at the White House security and shit. Nah. They were grabbing the barricades. The cops was trying to hold it. Nah, we breaking in. And they marched straight towards the White House.
Because old dickhead did some stupid shit, bro.
Hold on. Let's talk about what he did before that. When he did his photo op for the church.
That's what I'm talking about.
He ran like a little girl in his bunker. Turned the lights off and all that.
That was the first night they ran up in there.
He crazy. Yo, boy is crazy.
Last night was the second night they ran up in there.
He gotta have... What he used to work for?
Always said.
NBC?
Yeah.
He gotta have NBC cameras been following him since he got elected.
What I always said, though.
Because this reality show...
You be scared of the martial law and all that. Bro, it's too many people in this fucking country, bro. People gonna die. Yes. Ain't enough of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, we just showed y'all twice that the leader of the free world is soft. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ran his bunker, turned the lights off. Like,
niggas think the army is gonna rock. They think the army gonna rock.
No, man. I done seen videos where people chat, I'm black and I'm proud, and the army dude is like,
bro,
you know what I'm
they're
saying?
not gonna rock.
I don't
Because
know.
that's when son.
So then
their whole, I'm gonna just say this real quick. Their whole position is totally opposite of what these cops are. Cops are here to protect and serve. Here, their job is to protect us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
See,
first
you
responders.
already fucking with the
Yeah.
Now, you tell them this shit.
Nah, I don't even want to go to
Then
the
what?
other country.
And then what? And then go fight with us?
And then who you gonna recruit to fight with? You sound crazy right now. You sound super crazy right now. They like, alright, that's the FDNY. But so then he do the photo op at the church where he tear gasses people from the church.
He said it was a tear gas. It was
I don't care what it was, dickhead.
It was pepper.
That shit still bothers the fucking nostrils and the vision. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And he held the Bible upside down.
and he held the Bible upside down.
He held that shit like a football.
Listen, I'm not very
People gonna vote
church
for him.
going. I don't think he gonna get this second term though. I don't think he gonna get the second term though. For real. I really don't know if it matters who's running against him, bro. If this many people is 50 states and 18 countries are protesting, everybody need to come out and vote.
Alright, so let me ask you a question. If he wins,
Shit is just crazy.
what would you think then?
Me?
Yeah, because you think you I'm talking to you.
I'm gonna think I'm gonna think more than half the people that was doing what we doing right now is fronting. That's fighting the power and all this other shit.
Hillary won a popular vote.
Well, that's the part that needs to change. That election process. You know what I'm saying? Because but then I don't think I'll be surprised because then it won't be. I always felt that the presidential shit
He
was
was
great.
born in
anyways.
89, right?
88.
How many presidents in your lifetime have served one term?
None. But none has been as blatant as this guy as to what he's doing.
Okay, before Trump, would you say you would think George Bush would win his second term?
The way he handled 9/11, yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't as blatant as this guy is.
I got you.
As to say, I love what Drew Brees said.
Hurricane Katrina was the second time, right?
Yeah, and still, it was so covered up where he was in a school reading to kids, and you was like, "Oh, hey, look, my son Bush not, he don't know about this, but it's about to go down." We always thought that he was gonna hold it down after 9/11. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he gonna hold it down.
Yeah, he was gangster.
I'm not saying he was a good president. I don't think any president in my lifetime that you're saying was a good president.
No.
You might have did some stuff that we like, all right, cool. And then you did some other stuff where we like, oh, we didn't know about that till you got out of term. Damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but this dude is just blatant with his speech. How you vote for somebody? This was during his presidential, run. You ain't got nothing to lose. Your schools are poor. Your community is poor. You jobless. You're unemployed.
Yeah, thousands of people.
And this is what I'm saying. So, if it is what we thought when we was like, yo, before this year, right? We was in 2019, like, yo, 2020 vision is all money goes, everything is lit. But maybe we in the darkest part, and the 2020 vision has to, you know what I'm saying? You gotta clear everything up now. I was just watching Joey Badass on his live saying that, you know what I'm saying? So now is the point where if you have chosen this side, if we see you even a little bit of an inch, be like, yo, you out of here. You out of here. Because there's no time for none of that.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? So I don't think
he gonna win.
I don't think he could win.
See, this is why.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
This is why I can't talk to everybody. You made me see something a little different because I'm basing everything still off the pandemic, which I feel like he kind of fucked up on, but people fuck with him because he was like, I'm trying to open it up for y'all, but you see people, here's some, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like people would fuck with him, even some black people who just got $1,200 or was working on unemployment was like, I'm going for him just in case this happens again. Right. But with this going on, this kind of changes the narrative to where, like, this is a quarantine episode, and we probably mentioned Corona twice. Yeah. Probably the first time in 3 months. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So, this is what's hot right now.
So you telling me?
And election is in July, August, September, October, 5 months.
Yeah, November. So we gotta keep this up at that length, bro. It's like that day when they did the blackout.
But Joe Biden is an asshole too.
Yeah.
You heard the stupid shit he said?
You always gotta choose your evil.
You heard the stupid shit he said?
What he said?
Let me try to get it right without looking it up. If you're African, if you're black, if you're African American, you ain't African American or black if you vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah. When he was with Charlamagne. And Charlamagne's sister like, like, bro.
Who the fuck are you?
You can't talk that
lingo.
You
can't say that.
Not the lingo.
You can't say, and then the way you said it, you ain't? Bro, why?
There's no time to appeal. There's no time to appeal to people.
I really am pushing to be in these positions because Charlamagne is, I was very disappointed in his reaction to that.
I would have had to say, Joe, can you not try to use a lingo and speak in your language?
Let me say this, because if it wasn't him conducting that, I asked him a question, somebody else, he'd have gave with Joe Biden. Don't get it today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
But you're supposed
Definitely.
to be real. You see, I don't like the bullshit. I don't like the smoke fog, the smoke screens and the curtains. No, nigga, keep it real all the fucking time. You scared of what? Of getting a little check or moving up a little bit? That's corny, my nigga.
You at your platform.
You supposed to be like, whoa, Joe.
It's not no time to try to appeal to
hold on, it's on camera. Hold on, wait, Joe. Publicist, I think you should clean that up. I don't think this is the time. I don't even think ever is the time for you to do that.
Right up.
I'm fucking with you. We got to get him out of here. You don't want to deter people.
Yeah, we need an ally to get him out of here. And the way that you said that, I don't think that's cool.
That ain't cool.
Can you reword that for me? If you're in the African community and you vote
No, okay. So I'm gonna react to it.
Yeah. And if you vote for Donald Trump, I don't think that is a good idea.
Charlamagne, one of these niggas that'll be out there with all black on and black gloves. Like, I hate these niggas, bro. Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx ass niggas, bro. Why y'all gotta do that? Nobody told you to go blame mode, bro. We might be you. Because, yo.
Shout out to everybody that's doing their thing out there though, man. Protesting, holding it down, man. Shout out to the
people.
Community,
the people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody that's
doing
niggas
be trying to post and shit what these celebrities are doing. Yo, listen, man. Listen, man. Blow the smoke out. Show me the people.
Yeah, just put your money behind this shit. That's
God damn it. Yeah.
Shout out to Floyd, covered the funeral.
Shout out to Ho.
Shout out to
Flying lawyers back and forth with Rock Nation and Jets.
Fuck all the companies that supporting Trump. You know what I mean? Pizza Hut.
Wendy's. Marvel, WWE.
Marvel.
UFC. Patriots, the Jets, the Giants, the Knicks.
Cool.
Yeah, get that thing out of there. Move up, Chad. Fuck out of here.
We not playing with y'all, man.
My Knicks flag is folded.
Jets.
My Giants flag is folded. I'm not playing with none of these niggas,
Jets
bro.
is out of here.
If you support any of these niggas, if your game is on, I'm not watching your shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not canceling all leagues until I see that, what's his name? Adam Silver is taking NBA money to Shannon. When I see that, I'm keeping niggas started. I don't see that.
Nah, he the man.
I don't see the NFL. I don't see Roger Goodell on that list.
They just support the U.S. Army and shit. But
Yeah, I don't see none of that. So,
but what's up? There was some suspicious shit coming out of
these
the
organizations.
NFL.
Didn't James Dolan say that dickhead
We
shit?
gonna get into. We got into that in the sports episode. We got that.
Niggas is canceled.
Yeah.
Niggas is canceled.
Yeah.
Wendy's 4 for none, bro. None. And then they try, no. You on the list, bro. You on the list.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I ain't hear Donald dispute it, nigga. And he on Twitter too. Y'all supporting shit. I can't
So
get
during
with
the
that,
curfew,
bro.
like how the LAPD was conducting themselves,
Shooting the kids with
drive-bys,
rubber
shooting
bullets
people
and
and
shit.
shit. Like, I don't know, man. We just need to keep our foot on them. You know what I mean? Our pressure on them, like so.
And condolences to those that lost their life.
During these protests.
Because that's not being spoke about in those that have faced and endured more injustices and police brutality.
During this, I done seen a kid recording his mom's getting choked out by cops.
Yeah, I seen a nigga pull a nigga face mask and pepper spray him. I seen him just the other day push the old man down in Buffalo and bleeding out his ears and they just ignored him. Yeah, I seen him.
I saw one in Kentucky. They had
the old dude.
They had to
kill a barbecue man out there.
They had cops on each side. They had the people walking in line between them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They let like 4 white people go by. Then they grabbed 2 black people and shoved them in and like arrested them. And
a lot of them are getting fired though too. I can't name them all, but like just like in Atlanta where they snatched and maced the kid and his girl in the car, but just in front of them was a car full of white people partying and dancing and shit in the car, and that was ignored.
Yeah, but there is
just a new day, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's what I can say from all this happening. it's a new day, and Memorial Day was 2 weeks ago tomorrow.
Memorial Day was that day
That it happened. That's what I'm saying. So since it happened 14 days, look how much has happened, and it's not gonna stop.
This year will be documented.
What I was happy about was that it happened when people don't have no job and nothing else to fucking do.
Yeah, during the pandemic. During the pandemic, y'all still have the right to wrestle with people and kill people. But you not worried about going home with the coronavirus.
Not no more.
That's crazy. So now we don't care, all right? We out
here. Yeah.
We out here.
Curfew's supposed to end today in 27 minutes, and I'm not home.
You know what I mean?
I haven't been home when curfew was supposed to start the whole fucking week. Okay, first of all, it was 11 o'clock the first night. I understood that. But do that in the places where people was looting. You're not doing that to me in my neighborhood. If my dog got to take a shit at 12 o'clock, he's going outside at 12 o'clock. Did the shit the first night. It didn't work anyway. They was out there getting their ass whipped, trying to put people and send people home, beating up essential workers, couriers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Wild shit. Just unnecessary shit. The next night it was 8 o'clock. You can suck my dick. Do y'all see?
The sun's still out.
You see this? I said in 27 minutes they said the curfew was supposed to start. The sun doesn't go down for another hour and a half. There's no way I'm going in the house while the sun is still up. My grandmother is the last person to give me a curfew. And my curfew was when the street lights came on. So
I've been through that.
If the street lights ain't even on yet, and I'm a grown ass fucking man with kids, I'm definitely not abiding to your curfew. Give me a ticket and I'm gonna rip it up like I always do. So it's just crazy, but I see a lot of people scared of martial law and all that, but what do you want people to do? You want people to just, hey, fuck it. Mm-hmm. Let's wait till the next one. Let's see if they get it now. No.
Mm. Like I said, we just got to keep doing what we're doing right now. We going to keep talking about it on our platform. You know
like we've been talking about it.
We've been talking about it, so let's just keep doing what we're doing, man. Power to the people. Fight the power.
No justice, no peace.
Revolution will be televised, and it is being televised. Even if y'all motherfuckers and y'all news stations is trying to change the narrative, we have our cell phones and everything. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't been nothing but peaceful protests every day. All 9 days of this has been peaceful protests. And for 2 nights,
the last few nights
Soho,
have been real.
Soho and Midtown. It went up. It went up. Yeah. Back-to-back nights. And then the next night on that Tuesday, or that Monday, I believe, is when they was riding in the Bronx. So for 2 nights, Sunday and Monday, you had looting. Other than that, it's been quiet. It was just droves of protesters. So they gotta stop. They gotta stop trying to push that, the looting shit. Gotta stop that. That's not happening no more. That's not happening. Niggas hit the stores they needed to hit. They kept it in Soho. They lucky they ain't hit the Diamond District. You know what I'm saying? They ripped up Midtown, but a couple people ran in Macy's downtown, but they got booked.
Yeah, you gonna get booked with certain shit, like all the Apple products, they tracing them and all that. Like,
yeah, I didn't understand none of that.
Your face is gonna be on certain cameras and stuff, so.
And it was crazy because, like I told you, I was out there Friday, Saturday. Sunday I didn't go because I work Monday. Mm-hmm. When I woke up Monday, I was like, oh, niggas really went up.
Yeah.
Niggas really went up.
Yeah. But, you got anything you want to say about this topic before we go?
I was proud.
I'm proud too. I like the way my people unite, you know what I'm saying, and doing it.
I seen cops get smashed with garbage cans,
orange cones,
knocked out, spit on, drop kicked, shot at, stabbed. We just do Molotov cocktails out of them. Listen, man, if that ain't a sign to the largest police force in this nation that people are fucking tired, and to the legislators that can get these bills correct, get this shit right, and hold these officers accountable, because you acting like they're above the citizens in this fucking nation, it's gonna keep going up. It's gonna get
keep
worse.
going until, like I said, bills passed for laws to change. So,
It's gonna keep going up.
America, get on your job. Because we on our job.
They better get Long Island together, because I already know what time it is with them, but I see what was going on out there until the big crowd, the big protesters showed up. Then they want to chill and stand on the sides. They don't want to fight no more. Yeah. They got to get Long Island together, or, you know. My whole thing is, you got to understand that racism, you're not going to get rid of. You got to try to get a hold on it for the next generation. But it's just certain people that teach that. Just like I teach my kids respect. Yeah. And how to talk to people, and you know, and how to catch a ball. There's people that teach their kids racism.
It's like how you raise your kid to be a Yankee fan or Mets fan. You know what I'm saying? Like
you can't change that. You can't never change that.
You're not gonna change that. You could raise them to be racist. It's just a learned behavior, just like everything else. You know what I'm saying? So when they figured out that they could do that, they passed it down to their.
But what has to happen is the system needs to change, because the system is racist. It like I tell people, I've always heard the system is broken. I've always been a person to think, I'm like, it's not broken. You look at the history of this country. It's not broken. This is exactly how they want it.
This was never made.
It's not for us. Yeah. They have to adjust this for us.
Yeah. Gotta put laws in there that.
Until that happens, nothing should stop. There shouldn't be people that are like, oh no, he's cool at work. No. And
there can't be no hidden language, no nothing.
I need to know where you stand. I need to know where you stand. And I always told you, I don't care if you're racist. Just let me know that you are, so I know how to deal with you.
Yeah. Because if we conducting business together, you see my business acumen. I'm only dealing with your business acumen. So that's that. Don't try to put that racism shit in there while we doing our business.
Yeah, take that
Because then that's when I'm going to take it personal. Because you bring in personal shit to me.
Yeah.
So if you go home and tell your wife, yo, Core that I deal with, the business thing is cool, but I don't like him.
I don't like his black ass. He's just black. I don't like his hair. That's cool with me, as long as you respect.
Even though you could get Donald Sterling, then your girl could be like, I recorded this shit. Now you're going to get fucked up or arrested or
fired.
Business done.
Or beat up.
But, so,
that's going to always be here.
Like Stephen Jackson been saying, love for all that have love for all. You know what I'm saying? So, let's just keep doing what we doing.
That's why I always preach A-likes. Like, you can't change people's mentality, especially adults, bro. You can't. They are who they are. Just if you grew up with them or not, you just gotta know, we ran our course. I can't fuck with you.
That's it, man.
I can't fuck with you. I don't view life the same way as you do no more.
That's it.
It's not the person.
That's it.
That's just it.
Let's get into some let's get into some music.
Oh, it's been some good shit going on.
Some good music been coming out.
Freddie Gibbs, Alfredo.
Let's start with that.
Yeah, we can start with that. That's my shit, man.
I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I listened to a few tracks. But it's nothing to learn. Like, this nigga's just nice, you know what I'm saying? But what it is to learn about him is that he still has more stories to tell.
It's like you said, just spoke on work acumen. He's working, bro.
Yeah.
His projects are nothing short of flawless.
This is what, third project in 2 years?
Yeah.
He working.
Yeah.
and it's not like it's the same shit over and over. He works with different sounds, different producers.
This is some man Alchemist.
Yeah, so.
Him and Uncle Al get crazy on it. He got a track with Benny the Butcher, Frank Lucas. This is called Frank Lucas. He got a track with Rick Ross.
Which one? What's your favorite track on there? So?
My favorite track on there might be Glass, I believe is the name of it. The last track.
I was on Run the Jewels.
Oh, Run the Jewels 4?
Yeah, but we could
All Glass is the name.
All Glass.
Yeah, number 10. I like that track a lot. But
it's like 12 tracks, right?
For Run the Jewels?
No, the Fred Gibbs.
10. And Run the Jewels is 11.
11.
Run the Jewels 4
is the type of music we need right now. Jump off the first track or intro is on some fight.
That's how we open it, right? We're Walking in the Snow.
Yeah.
That was the track to open up.
Yeah, that was the opening track. That was Run the Jewels.
I started from Killer Mike verse because I just thought it was so powerful.
Yeah, that boy is nice, man. He gonna be president one day.
But LP is wilding on that, bro.
Yeah, on that Lottie Da joint.
He's a fucking ally. That's an ally.
I fuck with him.
You hear me? When I say ally, and you listen to Run the Jewels, that's who the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It ain't no on the line doing some trapeze shit. Nigga, fuck with my brothers.
Yeah, he a real one.
You said it. Without blacks, nigga, what do we have left?
Yeah.
You really gotta ponder that
I'm
shit.
like 8 songs into that, and I really like that. I like the beats on that.
They got straight protest, Ryan Wooten music on that shit.
Yeah, they public enemy right now.
So what I heard was they started doing this album after Ferguson. This is what Easy was telling me. Press, shout out to Be Easy.
And everything, all this is falling into their lap while they work.
Right, so they adjusted it a little bit probably with a couple of the lyrics. Probably. Because the I Can't Breathe, you gotta do that look just like me. And then that's Weekend, I Can't Breathe. That could be an Eric Garner reference. That doesn't even have to be a George Floyd reference. That's just fucking coincidence.
It's just,
It's just a eerie coincidence.
It's just it ain't coincidence. It's just the ongoing story of
True.
us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So for Killer Mike to say that, and I'm pretty sure when he talks about this album and that bar, he'll probably say the same thing.
Yeah, and that is in this vein where I said this 2 months before George Floyd died.
No,
I had this recorded.
He can
Let's
say,
just be safe
he
and
can say
safe.
2 years ago. Because what Press told me was the album had been done. They just was waiting to put it out at the right time.
Yeah. And it's the right time because he said that they was on the road right before this happened.
Right before the pandemic happened.
And then they was like, yo, we should wait till this is over and we're going to put it out. He was like, nah, we're going to put the finishing touches and we're going to put it out at the right time.
Because I followed Primo. And I remember before the pandemic, him, Killer Mike, LP, and
yo, he's still crazy.
G Nice, they was doing the Ooh La La video.
Yeah. I love that
So
song.
I remember seeing that, and then the pandemic happened. So when this shit dropped, and Press hit me early, he hit me like 3 in the morning. He was like, something, you get up, put that shit on. And
Killer Mike is
exactly
very lyrical, yo.
I feel like the way everybody feels right now, and everybody's in tune with their culture and black being important, Black Lives Matter. This is a perfect album for you to be listening to right now. I would say the number one and probably only album you should be listening to right now.
And then
is
probably gonna listen to NWA right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But for this time, for this lingo, for this generation, for you, for your brain, go listen. This is a perfect album to just listen to every day. work out, when you working out, throw some of the tracks.
Just got
If
done
you
walking
about to walk
slow.
out the door and go to one of these protests, throw some of them tracks on.
Yeah, listen to Running Juice.
You know what I'm saying? If you just gonna sit down with your other half and watch the protest on TV, just play some of these tracks. You know what I'm saying? That ass, like, it's the time of the day. You know what I'm saying?
From track 1 to track 11.
Track 11. I was gonna say track.
It's exactly what is needed right now. There's no breaks.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Press play, that shit is on.
It's the first Run the Jewels album I listened to. So now I'm going back to 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, you should. Press put me on. So remember his first battle. His first battle, he had a ball about Running Jewels. He's like, y'all know what I'm talking about?
Like, he was like had the hardest verse on that Bone Crusher shit.
Yeah, Killer. I always been a fan of Killer.
I was like, who is this dude? He's nice.
Killer Mike is probably my favorite rapper as a person. Like in that category, like outside of rap.
That's why I say he could be president.
Yeah, I think he will run for
He'll
president.
teach him.
I think he will.
He are KRS-One type shit.
And I feel like if Trump could be president, he can. I feel like if Trump could be president, I can. That's why I voted for myself 4 years ago instead of Hillary.
Yeah.
I put my name there.
Yeah, but he probably like top 7 down south.
Killer Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that guy. That's that guy. So Running Jewels is dope. Then we had Flatbush Zombies drop, but I didn't check it out yet. It's on the list because
I never caught their vibe.
Word? I like Flatbush.
I know
Zombies.
they nice, but I never caught their vibe because my brother listens to them.
It's Joshua for a while. Listen to him.
Yeah,
It's while Joey was hot. He was like, "Yo, listen to Flatbush Zombies with his boys." So I listened to him. Yeah, he should be. And Sleepy Hollow dropped.
That's one of my favorite MCs all time, Joey Badass, bro. I think watching his growth, but he been nice, but watching his growth and then when his voice changed and I was like, then he dropped Christ Conscious and I was like, hey, you got it, bro. You got it.
Yeah, Joey wanted.
But yeah, what I did listen to was that Sleepy Hollow project, Sleepy for President.
Yeah, what you think? Sleepy for President, man.
I like it. He one of my favorite ones out here. I like him and I like
Why?
I think the tone of his voice, right? Which most of them kind of got that tone right now in Brooklyn, like that Deep Pop Smoke, Chef G, all their voices, he got that too. But for some reason, his flow catches me. His cadence catches me. And I like that freestyle of the English.
Right. And he
I
I like that he opened the project with that.
With that, yeah, cause it hit the way he jumped on that track with the My Body Different, the way he said that shit hard, and the video is tough. You know what I'm saying? And I like young niggas like that. Yeah, I like young niggas like that. That's just like he seems like I don't know the whole story of that stuff that you. I don't know the whole story of that stuff that you told the street stuff, you know what I mean? But
you gotta get in tune, bro.
He kind of seems like he's not really knee deep in that part.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't know. It seems like, but I think he loves doing the music. I don't know.
I think he's a real artist. I don't know.
That's kind of what that vibe that I'm getting from him.
I think he's like out of most of. Remember, I always said I just keep Sleepy alive.
Yeah.
Because
he could blow up.
He like if you listen to this project, he got different shit.
Yeah, like the I think his track it's just 3 letters. I think it's BHM.
Yeah.
That track is hard.
Crazy, bro.
He telling a story.
That little nigga's
on certain tracks. He's telling stories.
He's really nice. Like something. That's why we time.
And then when he get you with the 3 Chef G features, you know what that is.
You know that's that.
You know what I'm saying? That's hard. That's Scotty and Jordan right there. You know what I'm saying?
You know you're gonna like that.
That's Chips right
everything
there.
else. When you see those two names together.
He's versatile. What I was saying when we was talking about this a few episodes ago about these artists, and I was like, yo, most of them should try different beats to try different stories and stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like he do it.
But he just keep the kicks.
Yeah, you know, he still hit you with the Brooklyn swag that's going on.
Yeah, Sleepy is dope.
What is it, 12 tracks, you know what I mean? Simple to the point.
Yeah, I would say I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it a lot. I like it more than Chef Joint.
I clicked the like button on like that's 12 tracks, probably like 5 or 6 half, you know what I mean? But the other half that I probably didn't click is probably like I probably was paying attention to the TV or something, and I just skipped the track.
Just run it back.
So I'm gonna have to run it back, but I like that. I
like his because 22 G's didn't drop, Fabio didn't drop, Lil TJ didn't drop.
Track he got with him was fire.
Yeah, Chef G didn't drop. I'm missing any
They're
of them.
all doing their thing.
All of them doing their thing. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. I don't care what gang they rapping. I'll fuck with all of them.
Black Lives Matter, y'all work together.
Right. Yeah, that ain't happening. No, yeah, but you know, I'm gonna support both.
One day.
But I hope so.
One day when like certain of them have blown up.
I hope so. Shit is hot right now because the kid, Real Right Sport, just dropped some crazy shit. He's slamming wheelchairs and shit. Bro, shit is crazy out here, okay? It's a jungle for real through the pandemic and Black Lives Matter. Niggas still going at it. So, like I said, I fuck with all of them. I'm a little more senior than them. Yeah. So like I used to say when we was younger, how niggas in their 30s beefing with us. Yeah. That shit done quick. So I fuck with all y'all. Yeah. So I think Sleepy Joint is the best out of all these niggas.
That recently came out, yeah. Alright. I'm gonna go listen to it.
You got replay, right?
You think it's better than pop shit?
Nah, we do it too.
I'm saying, you just said he's in the mix.
That nigga came out in
that
February.
Was last year?
I'm talking about recently.
I mean,
I'm talking about these niggas just came out in the past month.
I mean,
pop shit
was hard.
Pop shit is here.
Yeah,
and they keep getting better.
Rest in peace, young man.
Keep getting better. His album come out this month, I believe. Let's see if it's still.
Yeah, see what happens.
But
so that's gonna be in the mix.
Yeah.
And you could put that in this.
Yeah.
So, but this one is hard. This project is
Winter
hard.
Circle, shout out to them, man.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to White. I fuck with White.
Listen to that Meek Mill track that he dropped.
Yeah.
The other side of America.
Yeah, I listen to
track
it.
is hard.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
69 threw a shot at him. You saw his shit?
Who you talking about?
He about to drop a track, but what's the name?
This nigga crazy.
I'm gonna just tell you what it is. He in the
Boy,
studio.
Ortiz,
He in the studio with Akon.
Boy, Joel Ortiz and,
He doing a remix to Locked Up.
You heard Joel Ortiz and King Crooked?
Not yet, but I was listening.
Not yet.
I'm gonna listen to it because you saw what I posted on my gram, right?
I like it.
I just started listening to Joel again, from the beginning.
I like it a lot.
He's amazing.
Joel is
I listened to them on the Joe Budden
Pause
podcast.
is called Hard. Why would Joel Ortiz okay that? And he's from Brooklyn? Hey,
yes, he's
cool.
from Brooklyn,
Hey,
but from the 90s.
Hey,
that shit's hard. And they wasn't saying pause.
Hey, cool.
Cool, bro.
I have to, because
nah, he's too lyrical.
so that's another
and King Crooked, I'm not a fan of his too much, but I know what his pen is about. I'm just saying I'm not a fan of his.
Crazy.
I know. I used to listen to Smokehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like him or Royce. I don't really like them. But Royce, last week, no, let's not do it. We spoke about it, right?
Yes. I'm
growing to like, he's even better now. I really like him now.
He better than M.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's nice.
Yeah,
But I don't come at me like that like I'm an M fan. No, I never
I was just saying. I was just making a statement for me.
I never defend Eminem, so I don't.
He's way better than M.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another joint to check out. So that's music right now.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on for this episode?
Keep the same energy, man. Just
Yeah.
keep the energy. And to those who don't understand what's happening or who's black or minority or just a human being and you know, have trouble understanding everything in its totality, like, just seek understanding, man. Don't judge. Just seek understanding. Ask, man. There's someone that'll educate you. This shit don't come from 14 days, 13 days ago. This is oppression,
400 years,
systematic
600
oppression
years.
that has been going on. For now, we could really say 400 years. Slavery was about 265 years. You got Jim Crow and
Cops,
you know,
the police system been around for like 100 years. Handcuffs. The
yeah,
police system
so
been around for like 100 years.
I just really ask that, and if you don't agree with what's going on and you understand where this comes from, fuck you.
Word up. That's what
Stay over there. And
get fucked up. Heard?
yeah, stay over there.
Because all America respect is violence. So
and
we gonna give y'all
what
some of
was
it.
built on, and that's what we gonna do. We gonna give it to y'all.
Word. So
And just don't think that it ends there, because there's plenty of people just waiting on the sideline to where it gets to another level. So
yeah. So with that being said, it's Don Cole and Dricanhippie, and we about to get up out of here.